Have you ever looked at a brand new straight off the spool ribbon and thought you could use a little character? So this is what we're starting off with, but in just a few steps, it's going to look like this. I'll show you an easy technique to crinkle your ribbons and a cute way to store them. So I chose 6 different colors. These are all from Grene, which is a Danish shop. These are all 100% polyester. So I'm going to unravel these first. That's a lot of ribbon. Wow. And now we just need to spray these with water. We want to make sure that everything is soaked well. Make a ball as small as possible. And then we take a rubber band and we place it around our ribbon. So I will do this for all of my colors. So once they're all balled up, I'm going to put them in a plastic bag. If you have a Ziploc bag, then obviously you can use that. And I'll just close it with a clamp. And then this needs to dry. So it's the next day and I took the ribbons out of the plastic bag after one night because they were never going to dry. And then I set them out in the sun for about half a day. They now feel completely dry. So let's unravel these. So we have this beautiful crinkly ribbon. It worked perfectly. These just have so much more personality than something like this. These just totally make me happy. So let me share how I'm going to store these. So I have this chocolate packaging. There's never a shortage of these in my home. Then I'm going to cut out this rectangle here from the front. So I have all my cardboard pieces cut out. And if you just want a quick solution, then you can skip this next step. But I want my storage solutions to also look cute. And also, if I keep looking at this, I'm going to want to eat chocolate all day. So I want to cover this up. You could just use paper, but I'm going to use some fabric. This is a Tim Holtz fabric from the collection Abandoned. And it's called Writing Specimen. I will, as always, link the German online store where I buy all of these beautiful fabrics for you below. But please keep in mind that the store is closed from November 9th to 30th, 2023, in case you're watching this later, because the owner, Romy, is on vacation and she's a one-woman show. So after November 30th, shipments will go out as usual. If you have a dark pattern on your cardstock like I do here, be sure to choose a fabric where you won't see the design through. So then I'll add some glue to the cardstock. I use this textile glue from Action and I use a wet brush. You can use PVA glue, white glue, any glue that will spread nicely. And then we glue these panels onto our fabric. Double check to make sure there's no wrinkling. Then I can go ahead and cut this piece right off, right along the edge of my cardboard. And glue on the next one. Next, I'll go ahead and trim off all of the excess on all 4 sides. And double check that all of the corners and edges are glued down well. So then I have all of these. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other side. So once we have cut down all of the edges on the back side as well, we have these beautiful panels now. And there's several different ways now that you could shape these. Either you leave them as they are and just wrap your ribbon around, or you could cut indents. For example, you could cut a slit here and here and then cut this part away to have like the shape of a spool. Or what I'm going to do is I want this to be in the shape of a large tag. So I made myself this template for the corners. So I have 2 small corners and I have 2 larger corners, so I don't have to measure it each time. I'm just going to cut these corners off like that. Since I like the vintage look, I'm going to ink around all of my edges with Walnut Stain Distress Oxide. That's of course completely optional. So here's the comparison with and without the inked edges. Once I have them all inked up, I'm going to punch holes on the top here. I'm using my Crocodile and I'm using the larger hole. Usually the fabric needs a little bit of help, so I'll just snip that off with my scissors. And if you want to make sure that all of your holes are the same distance from the top, you can move this little lever here so that you just have to line up the top of your tag with that. And since these holes look a bit naked, I want to add a hole reinforcement on top, not to actually reinforce it because it's definitely sturdy enough, but just because I think it looks pretty. So I glued some more of this fabric onto some more packaging. If I didn't have the fabric on, I could just use a circle punch like this, but it's not going to punch through my fabric. So instead, I'll take another piece of the packaging and punch through that. And this is going to serve as my template. So now I can go ahead and trace around it and cut around this with my scissors. So I have this, and I'm once again going to ink up those edges. I'll punch another hole through the middle. Add some glue and glue that on top of the hole. Like that. I just think that gives it a much more finished look, and actually I'm going to go in there and also ink up that middle part. So you can do that only on the front or the front and the back, which is what I will do. So I have all of mine ready to go. They have the reinforcement on the front and the back. I just think it looks really nice. And then I'm going to use a ring and a bulldog clip. So the ring is one of these where you can just open it like this. You can find these online easily or in your craft store. And you could of course just use your clip as it is, but why not decorate it with the same fabric? So I cut a strip out approximately the width of my clip, and I also measured how much I would need to go around the clip. So I'll just add my glue to the fabric again and glue that right on top. So we let that dry. So then I'll just take my ribbon and wrap it around. If you don't have this much ribbon, then obviously you can make smaller tags, or you can add 2 different colors of ribbon onto each tag. And then for the end, I'll just make a slit in here, and I can just tuck that in. So they're all wrapped, and now we just need to add them to our ring. And then we take our bulldog clip And by the way, I added another piece of fabric on top because I completely wanted to cover the black. I didn't want to see it on the bottom here. So I'll put the ring through one of these metal pieces. And now I can clip this, for example, onto my craft card or something that's close to my craft desk. Love you guys. Mwah, mwah.